Hello everyone, Coach Carol here again. Today's live cast is another essential habit, this time for those of our genealogist friends who are also writing stories for their family history. So I'm addressing this to those who are beginning to write up the stories from their research. I'm going to do a couple of these to focus on ways in which you can help yourself to structure the story, gather the data for your storyline, add in images, and prepare a storyboard. Now, a storyboard is something that those who make videos will be quite familiar with. It's the practice of planning out what your video is going to be about, and you can do that in a number of different ways. In my journey as a genealogist and family historian, I'm using several different ways to storyboard my stories as I get them ready for either a blog post or a lesson in my courseware or for sharing with others. Today's tip is how you can storyboard in Word. Let me share my screen with you. A story that I'm wanting to tell is about my own family's journey to Australia, and in particular, to tell it from the point of view of my mother and what it was like for her in leaving England at the end of World War II to emigrate to Australia in 1949. I've written my story in Word, and many of you will find this the most comfortable way to write your story. What I've now done with the story, I'll just scroll through, is to create a little template to use for illustrating the story. And it's just a simple table in Word. So on the left-hand column, I've copied in the narrative, and I've broken that up into paragraphs and pieces that will lend themselves to a particular image. And in the middle column, I've added those images. And this helps me to structure either a digital story that I'm going to produce as a narrated video or as a blog post. To add your photos in here, it's quite simple. Click into the space you've provided for that. Use your insert, choose pictures from whatever device you have them stored in, and choose the picture. Adjust the size of your picture because it's really only meant to be a thumbnail to prompt your story. And as you can see in my little template, I have added other photo images to illustrate that particular part of the story. The London Blitz, the emigration of my dad on the Strathaired, which was the topic of my tip from yesterday, and images that I've gained from the web, such as a picture of the British passports that we would have used back then, and even getting an image, a current image of the house that we first came to. This one is in Laura Street, Moonee Ponds, and ending up with a picture of the ship that we came out on, pictures of our family, and finally at the end to finish up with the story about how our large family migration to the country was an article in the newspapers at the time. So it's a very simple process, one that I think you'll find very simple for you. stop sharing. And come back to you. There are other ways that you can prepare your story, of course. You may want to just record it. So in my next tip, I'm going to show you a little bit of how you can do that by using another simple tool, PowerPoint. Today's essential habit for family historians was all about storyboarding using Word. Thanks for listening.